Many young people in Kenya are actually very talented. They either know how to sing, how to dance, how to draw, how to paint. Problem is they're not making money out of it. So just how can a young person monetize their talent? In today's show, we meet an entrepreneur who has learned how to monetize and maximize his talent. Mr. Ken, karibu sana to our show.
Thank you very much.
Ken, maybe you could begin by introducing yourself and telling us a bit about yourself.
My name's Kennedy Mwangi, artist. People know me as Ken the artist. I started at a very tender age. As of now, I've done it more than 10 years. We work as a team under Lux Jade collection. And here we inspire young and upcoming artists, and also those who have already made a name, who are established artists.
Let's talk about Lux Jade collections. How was it born and when was that?
Lux Jade is a concept that came after I talked to a friend who was in sales and marketing. I sold my ideas to him. I convinced him that this is something that can work. So it's born from two guys meeting, me as an artist and a salesperson. After we had a brief, we agreed, then we can start this thing. You be in production, I be doing the sales for you.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
We are not old, we are young in terms of growth. We have a display somewhere, we have a workshop, we have a group of people who work under us.
What motivated you to begin Lux Jade collections?
I thought about how can I manage two tasks, sales and also do production. I found it to be a difficult task because art consumes most of your time. Then the little time you are left with, that is the time you want to do marketing. I found it tiring, and also I could not reach enough of my market.
Right. Many artists try to do this by themselves.
True.
And you told us when we were preparing for this shoot that you have a concept where you give a platform to artists so that they can also sell their art. How do we do that, and how do you engage these artists?
We do it professionally. We do interviews for artists who are now qualified artists. We evaluate them, then we integrate the ones that we choose, so that when we have the finished product, it comes as a group work, and also it comes as from the company itself.
How did you start as an artist?
I just started learning from others. I was really interested to know how these guys could paint. Going to see what they have, I admire their work. Because I had the passion in me, I could follow up to see that, okay, this is what he does, this is what he uses, this is how he does it. That's where I started from.
What is the problem of art in Kenya? Why are we reading stories about artists who are very unhappy, depressed? What is the problem?
Finding market for art is the most difficult thing here in Kenya. It has been quite a long time before people started appreciating art. On my part, when I started, I used to, have a head time because I could go a very long distance, but I could not even sell even a single painting. I could get discouraged, but as of now, I see people are starting to appreciate.
How was your journey to get to the point where you sell your first painting? Tell us that story.
After starting to know how to paint, I didn't know where to take my artwork. Still, I had to contact them, where do you sell these things? Mostly, they could tell me to go to towns, where at least people are a bit enlightened, people are a bit exposed, so that they can be able to buy from me. It was so hard because I could go and come without even selling even a single painting. I started now to experience, how do you sell now? That is how I started.
When you started and finally sold your first painting, did you sell it in a city, in an estate, to an individual? Who bought it, and what kind of a painting was it?
I used to go to an open place, an open market, where I was told there you can find guys, you can find even these white people. And that is the moment in an artist's life when you sell your first painting. You are so excited that at least there's somebody who has seen what I'm doing. So I sold my first painting after maybe going for almost a month without selling. But these guys were telling me, it seems people are not appreciating your work, so why don't you go and try to do something nice here, something, something good, better than what you've done. And that is what I embarked seriously on. I tried to see what can I do with my art, put more details, captivating, for the painting to be captivating. Also, I learned something that about colors now. Also colors. What colors do people love most? So that is where now I started. When I sold my first painting, that was the turning point of my life. Now I knew, wow, I can sell. My first piece, I sold it at around 800 shillings. It was a small piece. It wasn't a bigger piece. But it was really a joyful moment in my life. That now, from there now, that was now the turning point that now I must get serious on these things.
Your business has been on for 7 months, which means that you started at a time during the pandemic. How did you begin and how did the pandemic affect your business?
In fact, the pandemic contributed to our coming together. Because as you know, this pandemic brought a lot of disconnections in terms of the market itself. There was no market. When I was doing it, I used to depend on this tourism sector. When the pandemic came, everything came to a standstill. So I found myself in a position whereby, now where could I go? Whom can I now rely on? So the idea came up because this guy told me, no, we can do it locally. We can just depend on these locals, the people whom you see. Make them know and also make them appreciate what you are doing, and also bring closer to them what you are doing. And that is exactly what we did.
And how did that go?
It went on well because we could be able to sell, even when people are saying that there is a pandemic, because we are very accessible. Even the place where we put our displays is very accessible. So the little people had in their pockets, they could chip in and find that they need to add beauty in their home. So by that, we were able to sell.
Ken, what is the biggest challenge for an artist?
The biggest challenge for an artist is the continuous process of trying to improve your art so that at least it can, you can weigh the receptive part whereby people appreciate your work. So I think that is the most difficult part. So you will continually improve on what you are doing, gradually, as a market tries to appreciate what you are doing.
Why should people be interested in paintings?
Art is life. You can't do away with art and expect life to be the way it is. Because art is what you see. Art is nature. Art is you. You yourself, you are a piece of art. So there's no way we can say that we can live in this world without art. What we do ourselves is that we don't have the realization that we are in art. So we are part of art. So you can't do away with art. You see, art brings that aspect that you don't know. The aspect of awakening your senses. You see, giving you joy and peace. So a piece of artwork truly around you makes everything look calm, peaceful, and beautiful. So that is why we encourage people to have a piece of artwork.
COVID came, you set up a business. It's been doing very well. What are we looking at moving forward now in your model? Because the model you have is very interesting. What's the future of Lux Jade collections?
Well, the future of Lux Jade collection is so bright because we want to make it as a convergence zone, whereby now we want to integrate all aspects of art. For instance, now we want to get out of from what we do, but what other people do, but bring them on board, become a tool for them to expose them, also to do kind of marketing for them. For instance, soon we are starting to do string art. String art, like now we didn't find it here, but that is in progress. We are going to integrate it, string art, and also other various forms of art, even sculpture, which is not around. But so that is the future of Lux Jade art collection. We want to be a convergence zone whereby artists can come, do their thing, we market them, they benefit, and also we grow together. That is where we are now. That is our future.
In today's show, we have learned how you can make money from your passion. In our next show, we meet an entrepreneur who makes a living out of an everyday gadget, the phone. Until then, see you and God bless you.